basically the seven habits when it came in the market in 1989, I believe. Um, and then since then, today is we are in February 2021. So it's almost 31 year is already 32 years or already passed. People still enjoying and taking benefits of the seven habits, but a lot of people they have also in mind that still the seven habits are relevant in modern age. In last 30 years, that world has changed dramatically and an extraordinary way, in a negative and positive both way, and still it's relevant. So I will not discuss my opinion, but we will try to learn from Stephen Covey himself. He actually wrote a forward note in his latest book, the Seven Habit of Highly Effective People, in 25th edition, and he told us why the seven habits are still relevant. Why? I mean, after 100 years, still it will be relevant if I follow seven habits. That's a very important question from many minds. So we will discuss as well. And also in the second part, which will possibly is a 30 minutes after, we will discuss why guilt is so destructive and what is guilt mean. To have a guilty, what does it mean? We will try to really understand, which we all the time we're living a life with guilties, and that's why we are very fearful. So we will try to learn from the from author Dr. David Hawkins. So these are the two sessions. In the meanwhile, if you have any question, you can write under the video as well, or there are a couple of ways you can join if one way does not work. For example, if you are watching on Facebook and for some reason Facebook is not working, so you can come live on Zoom as well, where you will get benefit of viewing my screen as well, and where you can read more quicker as well. So that's it. In the meanwhile, my name is Maratib, and I'm the host for today. I'm a communicator for today. And also, if somebody does not have joined my YouTube channel, you can. And there are a couple of links I put under the video, so you can join and you can follow me on the internet as well. So let's going started. And today I'm going to start with the seven habits, and why this seven habit notion is so important. And we learned last time about this habit is about the intersection of knowledge, skills, and desire. And when they combine together, and that time you start to form a habit, and that habit will be a very natural, and you need to follow them. So you don't need to follow, or you don't need to sense any habit which is not relevant, but you know already, which is not relevant of the skill which you don't develop in the past, or you don't want to develop. Don't follow any habit which is not related with your desire. So desire, truly habits are the combination or the intersection of knowledge, skill, and desire. We learned a lot of last in our last session. So you can watch the recording of that session on my YouTube channel. The best examples of the habits, which is from the book, the legend book, The Seven Habits of Highly Effective People. Almost 40 million copies have been sold. It is among the top 10 most selling book in the world so far. And there are seven habits. Be proactive, begin with end in mind, put first thing first, and then think win-wins, then seek first to understand, then to be understood, and then synergize, and the last but not the least, sharpen the saw. And then after 14 years of this book, Stephen Covey published another legend book, which is one of my favorite book, is The Eighth Habit. from effectiveness to the greatness. And that's the total 8 habit which Stephen Covey uh, wrote. Uh, so these are the habits which we are following, and mostly people who are in personal development, like you, me, and many people, millions of people in the world, at work, in house, uh, in society, they know about 7 habits. It's like a it's like a very spiritual literature nowadays. People read them and they take the guidance from them, like we read the religious scriptures. It is like that, if I'm not exaggerating. So they take it as a guidance, they follow the principle, and then they apply in their life, and then they go further. Now, some people, they have a critical point of view about, is the 7 habits still relevant today? We living in 2021, especially in COVID-19, where we have witnessed the terrible time in last um, 12 months, when COVID-19 have destroyed the economy and the people's life and the loved one. They have lost the loved one, and they have broken the relationship, or their personal development is going on, but is still in danger because there is unpredictable future. And still that these habits can make me or reshape me to be ready for future. So these are the things which are in mind. So I decided that let's learn it from Stephen Covey himself, what he thinks about. So he wrote a forward note. It's around 5 pages. It is in a 25th edition. Um, and we will learn every week some of the paragraph from this forward note, and let's learn that what the Stephen Covey himself thought about why these 7 habits are relevant and why we need to follow them. So, um in the on my Zoom screen, um, we will start to read it. Some of paragraph I will read, and some I will ask my audience voluntarily. I'm very grateful they read it for all of us. So I'm going to start it, uh, because there are so many paragraphs in that note. Therefore, we cannot cover today, because we need to cover other human behavior topics for today as well. Therefore, I decided we will read only 2 pages from that note out of 6 pages, and the rest of we will do in the next Sunday session, if that's okay. And so, Stephen Covey started from the paragraph note that the world has changed dramatically since the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People book was first published in 1989. Life is very complex, more stressful, and more demanding. We have transit from industrial age into information knowledge worker age, with all of its profound consequences. Yeah, we face challenges and problems in our personal life and families and in our organizations, unimagined even 1 and 2 decades ago. These challenges are not only a new order of magnitude, they are altogether different in kinds. So it's a very good start when he's informing us where we locate actually in the history, from the history of our mankind, where we are located today. So we are located in the generation which is called information knowledge worker age, where every person has immense knowledge, immense information, whether it's a raw information or raw knowledge, or maybe we are overwhelmed or we are overflowing knowledge from our mind. That's a different thing. But we are living in information knowledge worker age. If you see your mobile and from social media and messages and emails and blogs and website which we visit, I think the millions of words we learn and we read and we watch and we listen every day. So therefore, we are in some psychological state in human history nowadays. And now, because we are more informed about our physical realities, our different systems we are having in our world, um, different relationships or organizational structures, and money making activities and stuff. So, therefore, we have more challenges. We are more demanding. And in this note, there are nine important factors which Stephen Covey has told that in today's world we will be um, are victimized or we have to deal with. So these are the nine challenges. Today we will do read only four challenges, and the rest we will do in the next thing. So first challenge, he's saying we are in fear and insecurity. That's we are more insecure. Yeah, our mother, our parent, our dad, our boss, our employee, a religious person, a community member, or as a person, we have more insecurity and very fears, lot of fears, anxiety, and stuff. Yeah, and that's why I started the second section, which is related with fears and human behavior, and I will add more things so that this part or fear part we will at least cope in our life, and we know really. And the second challenge is I want it now. Is a mindset of our that we don't have patience. We need everything now. We need result now. We want to become happier person now. So that's we Stephen Covey is saying is one of the challenge. The third challenge Stephen Covey is saying is we are blaming and have victimized thinking. We love to blame others. We don't take responsibility. We Every problem with this which I come across, I don't blame myself, I blame you. You are the person, or you are the entity, or you are the being, you are the company, you are the culture, you are the blah blah is responsible. I'm not responsible. So this blaming is more. So that's we will try to read today quickly from Stephen Covey. And the fourth for today is for hopelessness. And when we are insecure, when we need to do everything, get result now, and if I'm blaming everything, so next obviously consequence will be I will be very hopeless, and that hopelessness lead us for using drugs, maybe some adultery or sexual activities, maybe have suicidal thoughts, maybe a lot of other inappropriate things we start to do, and especially in COVID-19, these things are now 5 or 6 times more dangerous than three, 30 or 40 years before. So that's a danger. And there are other five things which we will learn next week. So let's start it one by one. That what Stephen Covey is trying to say us, and so the first thing is about the fear and insecurity. Before I go to, if you have any question or if somebody is not listening or hearing my voice or video, please let me know so I can manage it or I can try to fix it. Otherwise, we can go quickly.
Yeah, it's perfectly fine. You can.
Okay, excellent. Thank you so much. Uh, So let's go for the fear and insecurity. So I would request Zara if you can read this couple of points from fear and insecurity.
Yeah, sure. Fear and insecurity. So many people today are gripped with a sense of fear. They fear for the future. They feel vulnerable in the workplace. They are afraid of losing their jobs and their ability to provide for their families. This vulnerability often fosters a resignation to riskless living and to codependency with others at work and at home. Our culture's common response to this problem is to become more and more independent. I'm going to focus on me and mine. I'll do my job, do it well, and get to my real joys of the job. Independence is an important, even vital, value and achievement. The problem is we live in an interdependent reality, and our most important accomplishments require interdependency skills well beyond our present abilities.
Thank you. So excellent explanation. Stephen Covey is giving himself that we have become more vulnerable, yeah, and we don't have trust. So because we have insecurity, we have more fears and anxiety and traumas or anything. Therefore, we are step backing and we are living in our comfort zone. Yeah, and when we are living in our comfort zone, it means you are not progressing. It means you are static. It means you are victim of stagnation. So that's why we many people they don't develop anything, even they with their fears and low progress and failure, they become static or even step back, and they try to become independent, and they say that okay, let's I'm independent now. Just I will go in the morning and will come from work and I will look after my kids, and that's it. I don't want to go anything else to do. That's a that's a very insecure behavior. There is no development, there is no growth, there is no principles you are following as such. However, you are very in a risk full uh, mindset now. And but the problem is Stephen Covey is saying the solution is you have to live with interdependent uh, communication. You have to work with your spouse, with your children, with your boss. You have to work with your work associate and your friends and family, like we human are social animals. We have to work with all together. This is whole our world. We don't need to become selfish. We don't need to become egocentric, and that's why many societies or people don't move towards growth. They they behavior is like a lethargic, and they want to be in their comfort zone, and comfort zone can never give you growth. If you are living in comfort zone, it means that you are scared. It means that you have fears, anxiety, and you need to work on. Otherwise, there is a failure, and that will turn into a major next thing. Yeah. Don't think that you will be I mean you will be saved if you don't move forward. No, there it will turn into another psychological thing. You have to cope it. Yeah, you can't let your wound or your problems as it is. So that's why the seven habits is so relevant. That because seven habits take you out of insecurity. Seven habits take you out of a danger and help you to come out, like it helped me myself and many people, because the seven habits is back up with natural principle, and that's why it became so popular. Because it talks about your building the character. It talks about your building some certain aspect, a natural aspect, how your God has sent you down, or you born with these potential, and you start to unleash it on a personal level or with interpersonal relationship dimension. So that's why, and that makes you very secure as well. It really helped you. So because it support uh, with natural principle. That's the bottom line. We have a question. Yeah, please.
Yeah. Actually, like the way you explained, it was excellent. But I have a question. In fact, I have a confusion, I would say that,
Yeah,
like you're saying, that we should not be in our comfort zone always, that we don't have growth there. But how do you, like, what do you say about the toxic people around us? Like, for example, for 20 years of someone's age, or 30 years of someone's age, even though in this age teenagers are very, very observant, and they have a very good observation about who is toxic for them and what is toxic for them, and they avoid that. So do you say that toxic people or toxicity should be faced also, or it should be avoided? Because of course the fears and insecurities are based on the past traumas due to that toxicity. So like, how to I hope you're getting my question. Yeah.
yeah, that's a very great question. Thank you.
Thank you.
And that's a very common question for many great leaders who are struggling to become a leader or live in a very peaceful and growing environment, but they are struggling. So that question is very relevant for those leaders like you. So basically, if we have decided to live like you are saying with toxic people, or I will use a rather difficult people. I would not recommend, or I don't use toxic people, because anyway I will respect anyone who is in around me, is my humanistic demand. So I will say they are more difficult, and that's a more challenging people. So challenging people, or more difficult people, we need to decide whether we need to live around with them, or we allow them to live around us or not. That's entirely up to me. The first thing is about me. But if they are with us and we don't have harmony and we don't have understanding, so we need to leave that place immediately. Stephen Covey says interpersonal relationship cannot be built without win-win situation. When there is no creative cooperation, no win-win, and no consent of listening with empathy, then we need to avoid that place and avoid that people. You don't need to work in that office where boss and work people are leg pulling, and or they are creating a problem for you. You don't need to live with in a personal capacity, uh, obviously. But if you have decided to live with them, then obviously that's your decision, and you need to compensate for giving some sacrifice, or this thing. So obviously that's sometimes it's uncertain and unfortunate with many leaders, growing leader. Their potential becomes suppressed, and they even don't have courage to live out of these challenging or difficult people. But the solution is we have to come out from this, because one time you will become lie in a comfort zone with these challenging or difficult people, and then you will never grow. And that's why many people, they cannot able to unleash their potential, unfortunately, until they come out from this situation. And everybody knows how to come out, uh, how to come out without destroy anyone, how to come out without destroy myself. So there is always way out, peacefully, very peacefully. Yeah. And it's a very good principle taught by Stephen Covey. Either there is a win-win deal, or there is no deal. Okay. So if you are creating problem for me, or I'm creating problem for you, no problem, no deal. I'm going to resign my job. I'm going to take out from my relationship with you. And that's a simple. There is no other rocket science we can do. So that's my understanding in handling this thing. Uh,
Can I say something, Maratib?
yeah,
I think before we call a relationship toxic, and I don't know the situation, Zara, but I will say that sometimes people when they have disagreements, they'll take them personally. So, as if like a disagreement with what we think versus what someone else thinks is some sort of attack on us. And it's not. It's a different way of thinking. Sometimes we can reach, through synergy, why does that person say what they're saying, or why do they think the way that they do, and really listen to where they're coming from, because sometimes we can learn something from that view. Like, why do they have that view? Now, to me, toxic is if someone's insulting me, if they're, telling me that I'm worthless and that I'm, you know, you know, going against my value, where I know my value. I mean, somebody can tell me I'm worthless every day, but I already know that's not true. I mean, obviously I know that I know better. But if they're saying something to me in disagreement, like they don't want to do, maybe they don't like my career choice, and I take that as, why would you attack me with my career? This is something important to me. Well, maybe there's something else to that. Like, well, I don't like the career because it, you learn something, like it interrupts me, or something within them that's insecure. Maybe it's not toxic, maybe there's something that they're missing because I'm out doing my career and I'm ignoring maybe some family responsibilities. I mean, we can learn through these differences. So I guess my question would be, what exactly are we calling toxic? Is it disagreement, or is it actually toxic? So I just want to say that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
actually, thank you.
yeah.
I'm sorry, I'm not interrupting. Yeah.
No, no, continue.
Yeah. So actually, I think my question was very, very much on the surface level. What I meant was, see, there are a few relationships that you cannot avoid. For example, parents or spouses or children. They're win-win, and their the synergy and everything should work. But I was thinking about someone who's empathetic, and so friends, extended family, or someone there, and then why they are doing this. They shouldn't be doing this. So that toxicity or that negativity is impacting someone's life, and you are trying to help that person, for example. So what I got from both of your answers is that you should be concerned more about the people directly connected to you. Their well-being and your well-being should be more important than going, and beating around the bush because of so and so who's actually not directly related to you. So that's I got the answer. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you, Jenny, to putting more clarity. Yeah, it's a bottom line is, if we can't have a good relationship, then it's better if we can keep ourselves away. If somebody is realizing us that I'm a worthless, usually it happens with emotional relationships. And every culture has their own remedies, and description about emotional relationships and stuff. So that's depend on how they can avoid and come out from the relationship with peaceful way, uh, with the with the mental understanding that either win-win or no deal. Or if I'm coming out from you in the relationship, then it should not impact on you negatively and also to you, because my mindset is very for positive outcome of relationship between you and me. So therefore I'm saying you goodbye with a very peaceful, so you should not feel or have any offensive attitude or perception from my side. And the same thing I will, because I have decided to leave you, so therefore I will not have any regret on me. So it's even that's not matter of guilty as well, because you have made the decision which is appropriate, and which it was the requirement of the past life as well. So therefore obviously it's more like a personal thing, it could be, but that same thing we can do. I remember I was working in a very reputed company, and I remember I resigned from them after working 3 years, when I start to feel that my boss is having a feeling of myself as a worthless employee, or probably I'm going to be liability on the in the company, then I and even though I had a better job offer on that time, and more confident on my new skills and more advanced work as well, so I did not hesitate, and I did resign, and that made me a sigh of a good relief. And whether I was toxic for them, or he was toxic for me, or it worked. It worked very well, and then it gave me a immense growth in my next job, and then actually it helped me to become a very successful entrepreneur in my life, which I never imagined that decision. So whether it's your workplace or your home, there is always way out peacefully, but main thing is you need to believe on yourself and not in as a mindset to destroy someone, or allow them to destroy you when you are taking out from them. So, so that's my input. So let's go to the second reason why the seven habit is very relevant, according to Stephen Covey. And this is a very great discovery, actually, which Stephen Covey told to many people in his note, um, that why we still seven habit we can follow. So I would request Jenny if you can read this paragraph for us.
I want it now. People want things and they people want things and they want them now. I want money. I want a nice house. I want a nice big house, a nice car, the biggest and the best entertainment center. I want it all and I deserve it. Though today's credit card society makes it easy to get it now and pay later, economic realities eventually set in, and we are reminded, sometimes painfully, that our purchases cannot outstrip our ongoing ability to produce. Pretending otherwise is unsustainable. The demands of interest are unrelenting and unforgiving. Even working hard is not enough. With the dizzying rate of change in technology and increasing competition driven by the globalization of markets and technology, we must not only be educated, we must constantly re educate and reinvest ourselves. We must develop our minds and continually sharpen and invest in the development of our competencies to avoid becoming obsolete. At work, the bosses drive results, and for good reason. Competition is fierce, survival is at stake. The need to produce today is today's reality and represents the demands of capital, but the real mantra of success is sustainability and growth. You may be able to meet your quarterly numbers, but the real question is, are you making the necessary investment that will sustain and increase that success 1, 5, and 10 years from now? Our culture and Wall Street scream for results today, but the principle of balancing the need to meet today's demands with the need to invest in the capabilities that will produce tomorrow's success is unavoidable. The same is true of your health, your marriage, your family relationships, and your, can you pull it
Community.
up? Oh, and your community needs.
Thank you so much. It's a great reading. Obviously, it's a matter. It's actually answer of the previous question, previous issue, which was a fear and insecurity. When we are very insecure in environment, and we want to get relief now from people or from environment, and that's and the multinational corporations and companies and societies and our digital world has make us so facilitated that we can get this or anything now except the good relationship. That's I'm saying, if I need a good relationship, I cannot get it now. But the problem is, we don't want to invest in a relationship, and therefore uh, we cannot get the quality relationship from someone which want to become maybe a soulmate or ideal boss and employee relationship. So therefore, this lack of patience, this quick quick get fix problem is everywhere in all society. Actually, I would tell you the seven habits idea when the Stephen Covey wrote this book. Before that, there were so many success literature were in the market, and the people they just follow some tips from quick get quick fix stuff type of stuff, and they wanted to achieve success, but actually they were failing very badly because they were not going into the bottom of the things. They were going or adopting the things on a very surface level, or on a very superficial level. And that's why, for example, if you want to become 30 40 years, if you want to become a great employee, so well, you should be a very smart, you will be a very well looking person, you should have a very excellent communication skill, and you should have a very clever mind, or maybe you should be having already a rich or a good car, so it will impact on your office environment, and then you will grow in your work. So these were some few things which were very on a superficial level, were demanding. At the same time, if you want to become a soulmate, or or create a relationship with the opposite sex, well, you should be very attractive, and some beautiful stuff you can use it, so that other person see how he or she is a beautiful, or and that person will be my soulmate, and that's it. And actually, because of these things, obviously nobody can be your soulmate until they will really have a empathy and a long-term relationship, long-term great relationship, then they can have a soulmate. So these things were missing because there was no mind of I want now, I want to buy a soulmate now. That's not going to be happen. You can buy a very luxury car and very nice house now, but and because you have a credit card, and you can buy anything. For example, I can buy it anything now. Even I don't have money now. I can buy, but on credit, and that credit will make me uh, drain in very soon, and give me a economical pressure. So Stephen Covey is saying, because we have a get quick fix mindset, therefore we are very poor in building relationship, even with our children. Even like the people who are very attached with the children, they want that my children should be very obedient to me in a quicker way, without my investment to them. Yeah, without my quality giving time to them, how they can become your very close children. So, or the same thing with the spouse as well, same thing with the boss or your work associate, or with your student, or with your other people or other relationship. So we need to come out from this thing on, and obviously we must develop some capabilities. The principle of balancing what you need today, like Stephen Covey is saying, and what we need to do for tomorrow, that we need to balance, so that we can get success in tomorrow, in our marriages, in our family relationship, or in our community needs as well. If you belongs to any community, based on your language, religion, or geographical things as well. So we need to get out this thing, and we need to reinvent ourselves. We need to constantly re-educate. That's why the habit number 7, the sharpen the saw, is so important, so vital, so crucial for leaders, because it always renew your all abilities, your body, mind, heart, spirit, and it renew your all new mindset. And nowadays, even I would tell you, uh, the knowledge and information is becoming double every 5 10 years after. Every 10 years after, the whole knowledge and all information which human have or had before, from last thousands of years, now is doubling every next day and months and year. So fast. So you need to be have your mindset to develop these abilities for tomorrow's need, if you want to do. So that was a second reason why Seven Habits is so relevant. Now, the third thing, which is also the consequence of the previous two reason of fear, when we have fear and insecurity and anxiety, then we don't have patience, and we want it now. Yeah. And if obviously you cannot get everything now in a quality wise, not relationship, not long term materialistic things, then what will happen? You will start to blame other. You will not take responsibility. You will not be proactive. You will not follow the habit number one, be proactive. You will have a very deterministic mindset. You will be a victim of racism. You can have a very foolish or idiot type of mental attitude, not about you but about others, because you are blaming your environment. Your dad is responsible, your boss is responsible, your spouse is responsible, my wife is responsible, my husband is responsible, my children are responsible, my city is responsible, my government, conservative or liberal democrat, they are responsible. They did not implement these things in my society. So like they they and that they mindset have a victimized thinking, obviously. And it's a very blaming stuff. And because we don't have patience, we don't have mantra of uh, be quiet, be still in our life. Therefore uh, my brain will dictate me that um, society is addicted to playing the victim, and you are victim and you need to blame your society. And that's happening. So I would ask Cynthia if you can read this for us, so that we can go to the next last topic for seven habits topic.
Okay. Blame and victimism. Wherever you find a problem, you will usually find the finger pointing of blame. Society is addicted to playing the victim. If only my boss wasn't such a controlling idiot. If only I hadn't been born so poor. If only I lived in a better place. If only I hadn't inherited such a temper from my dad. If only my kids weren't so rebellious. If only the other department didn't mess up orders all the time. If only we weren't in such a declining industry. If only our people weren't so lazy and without drive. If only my wife was more understanding. If only, if only.
Thank you. Thank you. It's a great reading. So obviously these are self-explanatory for, but in spite of blaming and victimized, I would suggest the Dr. Stephen, the eighth habit is so crucial, because you take the initiative in your life and you start to find your voice, and then you start to inspire other people to find their voice, and that will reduce or minimize or actually destroy the factor of blame in your mind. So if you are following the habit number 8, that's a great tonic for this problem of blaming. However, the problem habit number 1, be proactive, which tells you to take initiative. You are the dragging force of your life. Like in a post, Zara made a very great post and that is actually the demand of that challenge, that instead of blaming and feeling victimized or make other people victimized, you need to take the initiative. You are the dragging force of your life. You are not product of your past, or you are not product of environment. You are going to be control your life in a very positive way so that you can unleash your potential, instead of you are going to suppress other people potential, or you allow other people to suppress your potential. You are not going to do, because you are very proactive, you are very ready to do many things. And you think that you have no deterministic mindset. You think that you can change your circumstances. You have a power of now, like Eckhart Tolle, the author of Power of Now. He says the proactive people, the leader, they when they follow the habit number 1, they have a power of now. They work in their present. They work right now, rather than it's a better to candle the light rather uh, to curse the darkness. That's we all around. So please try to candle your light, candle your different roles, try to take action right now. Don't wait for something, don't start to curse the darkness. This darkness you have created. It's not the society. You are the person who is thinking like this. You are giving the force to someone that they control your life. It is you. So that how you can make out of your problem. Otherwise you, other people will make you die. Otherwise you will actually become a physical ill. Otherwise you will become a a victim, really victim. So you will have so many fears and other things as well. So you are the person who are in charge of your, not other. Not allow other people to control your life. Don't allow your boss or your partner to control you. You need to manage the relationship in a way that they win or you win. You need you, because you are the leader. You need to take certain initiative and take some project in your personal life, so nobody has done it, or you don't need to inspire from other to take the project. Many people, they think that they need to see someone if they are successful in certain way. You don't need to wait. You need to take your own project in your life which nobody has taken, because you know better your life than anyone else. So come out from this blame and victimized thinking and see other people's how they are successful, or start to compare yourself to someone. You don't need to you need to be a self confident, and rather don't take the power from others. That's all hoax, that's all mistake. You are the person who are in really in charge of your life. That's and you Like the Stephen Covey says in the first habit, that there is a stimulus and response. You, and any society problem or any person, if they are going to stimulus in your life, you need to give a very very responsible response. And that between stimulus and response, there is a great intelligentsia, body mind heart spirit science you need to develop. So then you will be a very great leader, like uh, uh, like you are. Actually these are all things are inside you, but you have put the clouds of fears and blaming and victim on your things. That's why your all potential is suppressed under these negative values, these negative shades of cloud. It exactly like the you can't hide the sun with your fingers. Can you hide the sun with your finger? No. The same thing is, you can't hide your potential with these negative values. Just try, take a step, take couple of initiative in your life, and these clouds of fears and blaming and victim or other problems will just wiped out slowly and gradually and forever. As far as you are determined, you are very confident to come out the problems of your life, and you have decided to live with significant. You have decided to live with abundance mentality. So these are the some things which these habits can really help you. And I think we need really need to come out from this blame gaming. Uh, the blaming everyone and everything else for our problem and challenges may be the norms and may provide temporarily relief from the pain, but it also chains us to these very problem. So Stephen Covey is also saying, show me someone who is humble enough to accept and take responsibility for his or her circumstances, and courageous enough to take whatever initiative is necessary to creatively work his or her way through or around these challenges. And I will show you the supreme power of choice. That's exactly the same thing, because we have a power of choice to change anything. I have a power of change to change my life. So that's how we can come out. Power of change. So, and the last topic for in seven habits is hopelessness. And basically are, it's a next very consequence. If we are blaming ourselves, if we think we are victim, if we are in fear, if we have a mindset get quick fix, then eventually we will be very hopeless. And these hopeless think that I'm just a puppet, people are playing with me, I don't have control on me, I don't have, I will be die like this. Like maybe my mom died like this. Maybe I saw many people like dying this, and I will be die this. So this hopelessness, and that is creating a cynism, a cynistic type of thing where you have a mindset nothing can change, where you will have a mindset I can't change anything. That's a really hopelessness, and that turn into evil thing as well. You may start to use drug, may you can after that to destroy other and plotting some negative feelings to destroy other, that's and invert in some crime. Or maybe you involve in some sexual activity to give a temporary sigh of relief and thinking that I'm, because I'm a victim so I can do anything, I don't care anyone, so that's all sign of hopelessness. So let's see what Stephen Covey is saying about the how the seven habit is so relevant, and why that these seven habits are giving a tonic solution for people who are very hopeless. So I would ask Zara if you can read this hopelessness.
Hopelessness. Hopelessness. The children of blame are cynicism and hopelessness. When we succumb to believing that we are victims of our circumstances and yield to the plight of determinism, we lose hope, we lose drive, and we settle into resignation and stagnation. I am a pawn, a puppet, a cog in the wheel, and can do nothing about it. Just tell me what to do. So many bright, talented people feel this and suffer the broad range of discouragement and depression that follows. The survival response of popular culture is cynicism. Just lower your expectations of life to the point that you aren't disappointed by anyone or anything. The contrasting principle of growth and hope throughout history is the discovery that I am the creative force of my life.
Thank you very much. It's a great
Mhm.
learning and great reading.
Thank you.
So it's telling the same thing which I just described. The main principle, the seven habit which can help you for hopeless people, that you need to have follow the principle of growth, like the habit number seven, the sharpen the saw. Continuously, you need to renew your energies, your intelligence, and follow the habit number one, which tells you you are a creative force of your life. You have a power of choice to control anything. You have a power of choice to create goals and to set up priorities, to create a win-win relationship, to work as a team, as a team member, and have a great learning of empathy, and have an empathy value to listen anyone so that you can synergize as a team, and then you can achieve your result because you have found your voice, and now you are going to inspire your voice, uh, and you are going to inspire to other people to find their voice. So that's how a candle lights other candle, and the other candle lights so many candles. So that's how we can do this thing. So that was the first section of our today's forward note from Stephen Covey. And the next five things which we will learn next week, for lack of life balance, and was it not for me, the hunger to be understood, conflict and the differences, and the personal stagnation or personal where we are stuck on our personal side. So we will try to learn what why seven habits are still relevant, and we will continue to read this note as well before we going to the next uh, um, section. So, any question if you have, and then otherwise, I will continue to go for the next one.
Actually, I wanted to just, add up something here.
Yeah.
Like you said that I want it now. The second thing that we discussed. If we
Yeah.
see all the 4 points that you have discussed, they are actually interlinked.
Yeah.
um, if you have fear and insecurity, it would be, or maybe because of your anxiety, that's been rising from your I want it now thing in your mind, and it might make you hopeless because you are not getting it now. So all these, I think, they are interrelated. So in this regard, I wanted to share my experience that I had from two books, The Power of Now and Mindfulness.
Yeah.
The mindfulness book just told me that I want it now, and it should be this way, or how is it now. The difference between the two realities is actually the reason of anxiety. you know so if
Mhm.
we are mindful, we won't be having this victim mindset. We won't be hopeless. So the cure of I want it now is, instead of being miserable and getting the anxiety, let's be proactive. Like you said, let's use the power of now into I can do it. I should set my targets in achieving something, like some financial goals, and then with achievement of those goals, I should reward myself with something that I actually wanted.
Yeah.
So this way, I think we can channelize the energy. That's it.
Excellent excellent explanation. Thank you so much. I think it will be great value for the people who are listening and watching
Thank you.
our broadcast. Excellent. Uh, so let's go for the